The last days of my solo trip weren't about sightseeing, they were about intentionality. I found myself falling into the autopilot of a 9-to-5 life, and I realized I needed to stop. I spent my final days in the mother city visiting local recommended cafes, mapping out my future and reflecting on who I want to become. This is a silent vlog about the power of being alone, escaping the noise, and coming home with a vision. This is now my new apartment. I just got into my new apartment and I'm gonna quickly show you how it looks like. We have this entrance here. When you come in, you have this seating area. We go inside here and have a bad situation. And then there's this mirror and yeah. And then there's a smart little hidden cabinet, a kitchen. Go, they have everything, a microwave, a little fridge, some dishes. This is the bathroom. It's quite cozy. Good morning. Today I woke up and I found this plain cultured coconut. I always wanted to try it and I thought today morning would be the perfect opportunity to eat it because I will head out to Kalk Bay today with some friends. And I think we will grab a happy lunch because I always wanted to try the fish and chips there. It's supposed to be the best ones because it's just right at the sea. So I wanted to have something lighter in the morning. So I'm just gonna try the cultured coconut. I hope it's a little bit like coconut cold, which I tried to do it myself, but it fairly failed. So yeah, I'm really excited to try it with you guys. Okay, it's quite liquidy. It's like a thick coconut yogurt. Nothing that I know, like what I know is like it's like almost like a cream, but this one is quite liquid. Let's see. Yeah, it's good, but it's just like coconut yogurt. Okay, my friend will pick me up in an hour and then we'll drive to Kalk Bay. That's where the surfers are, right?
Have a picture or something?
Are called flapjacks in Cape Town. Also, I'm working a bit on my laptop. After spending a few hours at a cafe working on the blueprint for my dream life, I headed out to find some gifts for friends and family. I finally managed to do some shopping, alone and without pressure. I've realized I can only truly shop when I'm on my own, or as an exception with my sister. I need that space to choose things with intention. Afterward, I stopped by Mondy, a spot that seems to have very mixed opinions.
By now, it's become a ritual. Every morning, I find a cafe with a beautiful workspace where I can focus on personal growth while enjoying breakfast. Today, I went to Pauline's and finally tried the cardamom bun I'd been eyeing since day one. I have a weakness for warm, doughy pastries that you can tear apart piece by piece with your hands. I highly recommend Pauline's in Greenpoint. It's a perfect sanctuary for deep work. People respect your space, and seeing others staying even longer than me gave me a quiet sense of permission to just be. Later that day, I planned to treat myself to a high-end dinner, but then I stumbled upon Woolworths, my favorite local grocery store. I looked at their salads and had this internal debate of would a fancy restaurant meal, likely 10 times the price, actually make me happier than a healthy salad right on the beach. I decided that sometimes luxury is found in the simple things. Nothing beats the feeling of eating by the water, watching the sky shift colors second by second and soaking in the salty air. The next day, a friend showed me the best local spots for gifts. We ended the night with other friends having dinner and checking out some bars. The following morning, my plans got cancelled last minute. I decided to lean into the solitude and finally headed to Constantia, a place I had only ever seen briefly with others. I visited an award-winning tapas spot and just appreciated the slow, quiet life in nature. I didn't feel lonely. I felt completely fulfilled living in the moment. I also finally made it to the Norval Foundation. From the second I arrived, the architecture in the sculpture garden shifted my perspective. I even caught a string quartet rehearsing nearby, which made the atmosphere feel incredibly cinematic. Since I was already near a vineyard I had saved, I decided to check it out. You don't always have to consume wine to enjoy a wine region. The landscape and the interior are enough. But as I sat down to book my Uber, a waitress asked me what I would like to try. She poured me a generous glass of bubbles and even wanted to refill it after 2 sips. Such a lovely, unexpected gesture. That evening, I went back to a restaurant I had discovered myself. The first time I was there, I had ordered the wrong thing, so I went back to settle the score, and it was so worth it. Since it was the weekend again, I had to visit my happy place one last time, the Oranjezicht market. I finally ordered a whole slice of milk tart, which had been on my mind since day one. It was easily one of the best culinary experiences of the trip, creamy, rich, and unforgettable. I love bringing home gifts from places I have a personal connection to, so I did quite a bit of shopping here. I met up with an acquaintance from Berlin who was in town for work. It's amazing how quickly you bond with someone when you're both far from home. We spent the whole day together exploring the coast and having deep conversations. I felt a quiet pride in knowing the city's pulse well enough to guide him like a local. I also finally ticked Kirstenbosch off my bucket list. The blindly following my intuition up the mountain.
I have no idea where I'm heading. This botanical garden is just huge. Like, I'm completely lost and I don't know when to stop because I don't have a destination. So I'm absolutely in sweat and I just want to go back to the Kirstenbosch garden now.
For my final days, I moved back to the ocean.
This is my 4th apartment. This is by far the biggest one. I have a sitting area here with a television. And also I have a separate bedroom. This annoys me so much. How can one lamp be cold and the other warm?
I had missed the sea too much to stay in the city any longer. By chance, I ran into another friend from home on the street. I told him I hadn't braved the water yet because of the cold, but he encouraged me to do a cold plunge with him the next morning. Sometimes you need other people to push you out of the comfort zones you built for yourself. It was an unforgettable experience, and the water actually was not nearly as cold as I feared. Afterward, I went back to Pauline's for their ancient Greek porridge to warm up myself again. It was so unique and nourishing. I have already saved it as inspiration for my own kitchen. To end the solo but not so solo trip on a highlight, a friend took me sailing for the first time. It was a magical, high adrenaline experience. The boat felt like it was tipping 180 degrees, but the view was just breathtaking. I even saw and heard whales for the first time. In the vast ocean, they sound like lions as they breathe. I spent my final hours ticking off the last items on my list, more gifts, and finally trying the local Hake. I found a high quality spot on my own. Since I was still full from that big bagel I had for lunch, I just took a bite to taste it and gave the rest to a homeless man on the street who needed it much more than I did. Thank you for joining me on these quiet solo days. I've realized that travel isn't just about seeing new places, but about seeing your own life with more clarity. I'm leaving the mother city behind, feeling like a local, and taking my future responsibly into my own hands. If you love travel, self-optimization, and career growth, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. So see you until next time.